Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Divinity Ray, indie fantasy and romance author, and we're doing another installation of Indie Pub Hub where I'm going to give you a tour of my ultimate Notion dashboard. Indie Pub Hub is a new series I'm doing here on YouTube, sharing my journey as an enthusiastically indie author. As I shared in my last video, giving y'all recommendations of books that really helped me get started, I just really wish there were more people who look like me, sharing their journey as someone who wasn't on a path to be traditionally published, but just really trying to grow within indie authorship. Now, before I got into content creation and indie authorship, I was a corporate girly working as an operations specialist. I was someone who helped build, teach, and deploy ERP systems. And I've taken all of that corporate girl knowledge and applied it to my Notion dashboard as an indie author. Because the tech stack of an indie author is insane. The amount of work that goes into bringing a single book to life and the endless subscriptions that you have to make all of these things happen. I created the Indie Pub Hub Notion dashboard to help take some weight off of all of these different places that don't even speak to each other when I'm writing my book. And also, as someone who's neurospicy, I need to be able to see my work in one space. Otherwise, I start to get that like object impermanence thing and I start to forget. So it works as part organization, part accommodation, and just a fun way for me to express my love for organization as someone who just loves Notion. This is not sponsored, by the way, but Notion, if you ever see this, call me, girl. Now, as you can see, I'm in my pajamas because we are being cozy today. Grab a cute little beverage, sit down somewhere comfy, get your notebook so you can steal all of my ideas, or you can save yourself some time because the template is for purchase in the link in the description. And I want to be clear, this is not a tutorial. This is a tour of a Notion dashboard that I've already built. The template does come with a few directions, but it's intended for people who know how to use Notion or know how to learn how to use Notion. With all of that being said, let's dive in. So this is my main dashboard. I'm not going to take you through that because it's not actually a part of the template. So I'm not even going to tease you. Let's just hop right into what I have built for myself as an indie author and for you if you want to save some time. This is my main page. I've just named it Divs Indie Pub Hub 2.0. And immediately I'm popped right into all of the books that I'm working on. And I have them categorized by WIP, by new ideas, anything that's been shelved. Obviously, I think very highly of myself and I have not shelved anything yet. And then anything that's already published and a part of my backlog. You keep scrolling, my task overview is down here as well. Now I have my calendar from my personal page and from this page connected. So you can see some stuff that I'm doing for the Whimsy Workshop, and then also some things that I'm doing for publishing. All of my tasks are here. And because I have the specific brand of neurodivergence where I will forget something I cannot see, I highlight all of my subtasks blue so I know that they are subtasks. And anything that turns pink is overdue. And that's like alerting me to like, girl, you need to get to it. And then here's my weekly view for my calendar and then the monthly view for the calendar. Now, scrolling back up so you can see what's on the right-hand side, I have my writing stats. So far I've imported almost half of the projects that I've been working on. And I really love this chart because I can see which books have like the most words written. Love that for me. You can take the data girl out of corporate, but you can't take the data out the girly. And you'll see these numbers are a little bit different because I like to see the total words I've written completely and then the words that are left over after editing. These numbers are just here as a placeholder because I am getting them together. Let's hop into the example book so you can see what the master template looks like. Okay, welcome to the example story, which is called a example, of words, no, stories and words. Yay. So this is where you can update. Oh, leave me alone, Grammarly. So this is what I see when I create a new book. And this is where I fill out all of the information. I can set the status, whether it's an idea, an outline, a draft, revision, if it's with ARC readers or if it's published. And then I have the different categories here, a new idea, a current WIP, if it's going to be shelved or backlogged after it's published. And then I have the type of book that it is, standalone, duology, trilogy, series, anthology, interconnected, which is kind of like, these can kind of be the same thing, but not always, which is why I have both of them. And then as far as genres go, we have fantasy, romance, romantasy, contemporary, literary fiction, sci-fi, and you can just add whatever you would want to add for your own section. Then I have the book's POV, if it's single POV, dual POV, multi POV, and then here is where I put the book cover. That's what you see on the other side, showing in like where all the books are lined up. And then here's where you can put like your start date, like the day you started, and then your anticipated release date. This is not something that has to be set in stone. You can always go back and change it. And if you decide not to write your story within Notion, I like to just have a space where I can link it straight to the manuscript. Because sometimes I would like to organize in Notion and I'll write and dabble, but a lot of the times I try to just do everything in one space because it's just so much easier. So let's get into the navigation menu. So this button here takes you back to the main page, and it's linked on every single page. So you can always get back to your list of books and your tasks and all of that good stuff. I am nothing if not a Beauty and the Beast girly. So this is just a reminder for me of like where it all started. And you will notice that this is the extent of this page. I don't have anything else here because if I did, I would be like clickety clacking in, trying to look at stuff and tweak stuff. No, I need to get in and make a decision about what I'm working on. So I have this dashboard, very low dopamine, if you will. So I just like, I have to make a decision on what it is that I'm going to work on. And I try to set it up in a way that like each decision leads me to progressing in the book. So we have my story builder, my projects and tasks, my world builder, my research log, my brain dump, and then my marketing one pager. We're going to jump into the story builder first because it's the most dense page and we have a lot to go over. So on the left side, I have my navigation, and then on the right is where I have my book progress. And just like on the home page, it has the total word count, my manuscript count, and then the minutes that I've spent writing this book. And how I do that is with this word tracker. So I have this word tracker that automates this for me. I just press play when I want to start drafting, and I'll say, yes, let's go. And it automatically calculates the time between me pressing start and finish. And I have this both for revising and for drafting. When I'm done drafting, I just enter the amount of words that I've written and the rest just auto populates. And then when I'm done revising, I just subtract the amount of words that I've taken out. And then it also will calculate the rest of that for me. And then it updates these numbers here at the top. I really, really love this, not just because I'm a data girly, but I think it's because being able to see how much time and effort you put into something, it really does make you feel proud. And I think one of the struggles that comes with being an indie author is this constant noise about what it means to be a real author. But the more you can see your actual progress in motion, I think the more it really just solidifies that if you are someone who is sitting down, writing stories, spending hours and minutes of your life to do so, you are an author. You are a real author. Okay, but now let's get into my favorite part of the entire page, the writing dashboard. So this is the writing dashboard. It has a couple of different modes. There's the all-in-one writing dashboard, and then there's the focus writing mode. There's scene cards, timeline, story outline, and then just a place for you to quickly reference your characters. The way I have it set up, because I'm a character-driven writer, my characters always come first. So here is where I start to kind of just imagine who the characters are going to be. As an example, I was just like, there's a man. So this first character's name is a man, and he's the beta protagonist. And then we have our main alpha protagonist, who is going to be someone I just called Ryan. Mind you, this is not a real story, okay? So you don't get to judge me. I'm just making an example story so I can show you the template without spoiling my other stories. And then there's Grace, who's a secondary character. She's the friend and the protector. Now, as you can see, if I click on a character's name, it will also show me where they are in the gallery view. So if I click on this though, it takes me into this reference sheet. I am a person who does not like to do things twice. If I do it once, it should be good enough to do all the things with. So this is actually the reference sheet that I send to artists to get character art. So it has the character name, just a little tagline about them. Like I said, oh, a shadow mommy who rages as hard as she loves, right? Love that. And maybe there's like a vibe or a scene that I'm handing off to the artist. And actually, let me just make this bigger so we can see it on a grand scale. There we go. Okay, so here's where I put like all the defining features. I like to use hex codes when it comes to skin color, especially as a Black woman who represents Black women in my stories. we will have that skin color correct. Yes, we will. And then like hair color, texture, like I do all of that stuff. And then I just have like all of these categories where it's like, it will be easy for the artist to just click and know exactly what they're looking for instead of filtering through like all these different mood boards, etc. And then like any distinct features, whatever. And then here's the mood board for like actors who may look like this person, clothing that they wear, poses, props. And then all of my character stats go over here: the age, height, race, nationality, ethnicity, species, because I write fantasy, pronouns, the way that they present, and then any quotes or anything that speaks to their like aura, their vibe, and any notes. So like all the images that I use here, I got from Pinterest. So when I create my characters, it's really just kind of one and done, and I can just build off of that as the story goes on. I'm never starting from scratch. And in this section is where I have my list of chapters by status, and just a little peek so it can like jog my memory of like what the chapter starts as. And below that is where I have my timeline. Now I like to write in 3 different timelines just because like I tell stories non-linearly and interconnectedly. So I need to hold a lot of information at once, which can be quite challenging for someone who is, you know, a little neurospicy. So having a second brain basically for my stories, timeline wise, definitely is one of the best things I've ever done. So here's where I tell myself the whole story. This is things that maybe the reader doesn't need to know, but I need to make sense of it, of like how the story came about. Like this is like the deep history, which is why you'll see like here, it's like the ancient times. And then like what happened in the ancient times? There was the war. So I can like say, okay, this was the war, and I'll like tag it. And then I can actually say where that took place, what's the story date. And then because I like to use a timeline like this, I'll kind of use dates within the real world to create a timeline so I can see how the time works as someone with time blindness. And this is why a lot of people will say, you don't need all that to write a story. If you don't need these kind of accommodations, you should just be grateful that you don't. But for people who do have a big story in their heart and is just trying to find a way to bring that to life, tools like this can be very, very helpful. And the thing I really love is like you can create these like sub things that happen, and they're so easy to move around. So it's like if you change something in your story, you literally can just move it and nothing bad will happen. Another thing I really like to know is where my characters are in the stories that are happening in my mind, especially if like I have ancient characters who were alive longer than some of their counterparts. That's something I might want to know, especially if I'm doing like extensive flashbacks or anything like that, and just kind of like keeping all the timelines together so I don't create like plot holes or have to retcon something I said, like, oops, actually that person wasn't even born when this happened. So I like to keep a little timeline of what that looks like for me. Moving right along to my scene cards. And the way I have it set up is either it's drafted in a chapter, it's a random idea, a specific idea, an outlined scene, a drafted scene, drafted in a chapter, like it's actually in a chapter, or it's something I feel like might not work and I archive it. And if I open these up, you can see that I have like the scene here. I can see exactly what chapters the scene is going to be in. And then I can see all the characters within that scene in one single place. So if I need to reference something or remember something, I don't have to leave where I'm focusing to do something else. It's all in one place. These scene cards are inspired by my love of Story Genius by Lisa Crone. If you have not read that book, I recommended it in my last video with 2 other books that you might love if you are an indie author getting started and really working on your craft. I've set up some conditions for myself too to kind of alert me to when I'm like skipping steps. Green is for when it's done, white is in motion, and red is if I forgot to put a scene number. Because I have it set up that like, no matter how I change the scenes, as long as I remember to change the number, it will always go in chronological order. Okay, so let's talk about how I write my chapters in Notion. On the left side, I have my outlines, and on the right side is where I have my chapters. And if I click this, it will open up the entire chapter for me. And I can write it in here without having to actually open it up. And I like having this side by side because sometimes I'll forget what it is that I outlined, or I'll get really type happy and start moving away from the objective of the chapter. And that's okay to do because sometimes the characters really do making their own decisions. But if I'm doing it, I need to know I'm doing it so that I can restructure how those consequences are going to play out in the rest of the story. And the chapters are set up a lot like the scenes. So there's the current chapter, there's the characters, there's a research tab, Your locations will also be in here, which is another page we'll get into. One thing I really love to do is like, if I know something is going to play a big role in my world, I would create an entire location where it will also have like sensory detail, like everything I need to know about that space lives in one place so I can quickly reference it when I'm writing. And also my timeline reference is also in here as well. Some other cool features is, of course, the status, drafting, editing done. I try not to add more than that because a girl likes to waffle, okay? Then of course you have your brain dump here, and you can link it back to the chapter outline. The really cool thing is if you change any of these chapters, they automatically update. So you don't have to go through and manually change each one of your outline or your chapters or any of that. It will automatically update. And then I have it where I can see if a chapter is part of draft 1, 2, 3, etc. as I'm revising the book. And you can change these into a beat sheet, and I'll show you how that can look in just a second. So this is what my complete story outline usually looks like. And I have it categorized by chapter and then by the type of chapter it is. So let's say, I know these all say flashback. They're not supposed to say that. Imagine reading a book and the whole time it's like flashbacks. So the options are present, flashback, prologue, epilogue, just so you can kind of keep track of like how things are playing out in the story, especially if you're like me, you tell nonlinear stories. And then on this side, I have it like what book in the series is it? These are all part of book 1. And then here are the acts to go along with that. As your book or your series grows, you can just add chapters to more books. And this is what your acts would look like. I use the Save the Cat Writes a Novel beat sheet. So this is what my beat sheet looks like. This does not come with a template because it's not my framework to sell. So it comes with acts, and then you can literally just take those acts and update them to whatever beat sheet that you use. And you can still have this layout so you can see how your story is unfolding and just kind of move things around if you need to. So the other views that I have is writing focus mode, and this is just writing the book and having my outline next to it, and that's it. So this is just for scene cards. I have mine all the way open so I can see everything, but you can definitely decide if you only wanted to see certain things and move things around. This is the timeline view. It's just a more focused view of the one I have on my writing dashboard. And then the story outline has a very focused page as well. And then this is where all of your characters will live. The reason why I love this page is because, especially if you're writing dual POV, I have it set up so that you can see the balance of your story. Right now, since it is both POV of a man and Ryan, then you can see that like they share equal screen time in the book. So this is my story builder. This is how I write a lot of my stories. This has helped me so much. I never feel like I'm starting from scratch. I always have a system to work inside, and this is just one piece of the puzzle. Let me show you the other pages and how they all connect to this page here. And also, if you like content like this, follow my newsletter, Indie Pub Hub on Substack. Okay, so this is where my project and tasks live specifically for this book. I have a quick action setup where I can add new publishing, new admin, new events, new personal, straight to this calendar, and all of the tasks will populate. And I also like to put the effort level. This is very important for me because sometimes I have to decide what I can do based on how many spoons I have. So if I know something has a large ask, I will literally go with a smaller thing because I know I just don't have the energy to do that thing. And then when I open this up, it has the tasks and subtasks that I need to complete in order to accomplish this project. So if this is a part of publishing where it's just, let's say, getting art done, that's the project. And underneath that, I have tasks to make that happen. And then this will be like the weekly overview of anything that's on the calendar. And down here is the calendar overview of anything that's coming up. Let's jump into the world builder. Now, I like to put my Canva whiteboard here. I usually use Canva whiteboard for bigger things that really can't fit into my mood board, like in a single view. Like I want to see it bigger and laid out. I use this mostly for like makeshift maps and stuff like that, just because it's larger and I can see it better. And I use my mood board for like smaller things like a building or a pink sea or sparkly water. I don't know if y'all can tell, but I love pink. So my world is really where the magic happens. This is where I literally build out my entire world. I'm talking detail for detail. I took the masterclass with N.K. Jemisin, and she talked about how she builds worlds. And she said, I start with the galaxy it's in. And I said, you know what? And I started doing the same. So I have like, what galaxy is it in? What planet is happening on? What's the region? Where are the body of waters? Where are the big landmarks? What is the climate? What's the weather? Like, I go through the entire thing, okay? And then I move on to like the inhabitants, like, what is this main species? Who are they? Distinguishing features. Like, and when I say distinguishing features, I'm like, do they have pointed ears or do they have sharpened teeth? Those kind of things, because let me be clear. What's their language, religion? Do they have magic? What's the legends and myths around these people? So this really helps me get the juices flowing, which is why I think I don't really have writer's block, is because I have something that I can just go to and just say this, and this. And the way that it's built is like, it just kind of builds off of each other. Because say, for instance, you say like, oh, it's just a water planet. That's going to inform when this happens, right? So say like this happens eons before the big drought and land starts to appear. So most of the people are all sea people. That's going to change what they look like. That's going to change what they believe in. That's going to change the lore. It's going to change everything. So I really go through this process of building my worlds like this because it really does help to get those creative juices flowing. Here's where I build my magic system. Where does magic come from? Who can use it? Who can't use it? What are the rules? What is the cost of using magic? How is it regulated? These are just like the basic questions around fantasy world building. And then I have another separate thing for key locations, because occasionally I do like to write just contemporary romance. And I didn't want to put these in the same category because a location that's like a mausoleum or an art gallery is just not like, we know what the species are. We know all these things. We don't have to build this world. We live in it. So my key locations is different than my world, than building a world. So underneath here, you'll find this is the master location. I usually just duplicate this when I'm creating different locations before I fill it out. So I'll name the location, I'll say what type of location it is, where it's geologically located, what's the layout look like. And this is where my Canva whiteboard really comes in handy, because I can create what that layout looks like to me in my mind before ever even handing it over to an artist. And then like sensory details, what does it look like? What does it sound like? What are the main textures and smells? What's the vibe of the place? What's the history? What's the lore? How long has it been there? Why does that place even exist? Does it have secrets? What's the story? I don't know if you can tell, but this is one of my favorite pages. So very quickly, we'll jump into the research log. In my research log, I really love to use this because one thing about it is that you cannot change the date on it. Once you create a new page, let's just create one so you can see. Let's say I was researching grass, right? Oops. Oh, I'm not typing. Okay, let's say I'm researching grass. It's going to say exactly when this thing populated, and you cannot change this. You can't change it. So I think like it adds this level of a human fingerprint when you are writing your books, of being able to keep a change log or a catalog of like everything that you put into your story and the places that you went, like the sources, because like you can add a link to show exactly where you got that information from, where you learned it from. I use this very heavy-handedly when I am coming up with concepts, world building, research and sensitivity. Like I keep a log of the days and effort and the time that I put into researching for my books. And then I kind of already showed you what the brain dump looks like and how you can add ideas to this. It's very similar to the research page. You just put whatever you have captured here. I have captured this. There it is. And then you can connect the ideas to each other. You're reading something about your characters and you had another idea that it was connected to. It can automatically pull that page up for you so you never lose track of the things that you're thinking about. Because I know like a lot of my thoughts run into each other, and that really definitely does help. Another favorite page of mine is my marketing one pager. I love this page so much. This is where you can compile all the things you need to market your book. And it's very lean, very light, and it's designed to be that way. It's not a content creation calendar. It literally just is a marketing one-pager that has like the copy and paste things that you would need to just kind of put your work out there. So here you would put like the blurb of the book, then you'd have like the synopsis, the cover of the book, and then you'd have like your genre, your tropes, your micro tropes, your comp titles, your keywords, any reviews that you get for your book, you can also put here. And you can like say like if they were 3-star, 4-star, 1-star, whatever. And you can put them all in the same space. So if you ever need to like use that on social media, it'd be great. And then you can also track where you are sharing these reviews. So it can be on your website, on social media, on the back of a book cover, in your press kit, in a newsletter, in a blog, during a podcast, at a book event. So, and then you can check it off to be like, oh, I plan to use this. This one's in use, like it's being circulated. And then you can say like when you're going to publish that review to share with other people who enjoyed your work. And here's where you can add your source. And the quotes and excerpts from your book. So say you're writing something, you're just like, ooh, that slaps, and I know that's gonna be a good hook. You find that character, you say it's a quote, and you go, who did this to you? Question mark. And then you can say what chapter it's in. Let's say he says it in chapter 1. When you are having a low content day and you just like don't feel like doing something, you could just come in here and pull from when you've already pulled. I do that all the time. Okay, I just finished editing and I'm so happy with it. Y'all, this is my first time making a full-on Notion tour, screen recording, all of it. I had to figure out how to do all of this. So I hope that this was helpful and maybe even a little inspiring to just create the thing you wish existed. That's exactly what the Indie Pub Hub 2.0 template is for me. Feel free to take any of these concepts and use them for yourself for personal use. And again, if you want to save yourself some time, you can find the link to the entire template in the description. Now, I can't say anything yet, but I might be starting a really fun project soon. So hit subscribe so you never miss a new episode, because I will be putting that template to very good use. See you next time.